my home skillet.
How you been?
I've been well.
It's been like a friend. I was seeing
I saw
jazz.
I saw you interview Sam
Oh
for
yeah.
Hateful Eight.
She watches my interviews. You
Of
you
course
see this?
I watch. Are you kidding me? It was a really good interview. You asked him like, what were his 3 favorite roles or something like that?
I
Yeah.
was really trying to get into him holding the Morehouse administration hostage and bring it back to the thing going on in St. Louis and Mizzou, but we didn't really get there. 4 minutes. But anyway, we're here. It's your day. We're talking about a new show where you're the lead. And among a great cast of characters, and it's groundbreaking, and it's not what people think about when they think about a slavery show. If it's just titled a slavery show, this isn't what it is.
No, honestly, this is it's about the Underground Railroad. Did you see
I seen the first 4 episodes. They sent me the nice box. I seen everything. And I'm at the cliffhanger spot trying to figure out what's about to happen.
Man, you're in for a ride. I mean, I'm just so incredibly proud to be a part of this project. For one, it was one of the most challenging projects I've ever done in my life. Physically, I did all my own stunts. I mean, shooting in Baton Rouge in a corset and 5 layers in the dead of the summer with mosquitoes, biting me in every single place. Like, bit me under my eye one time. I was like, really?
That's your first time shooting in Baton Rouge.
It was my first time shooting in Baton Rouge, not my first time shooting in Louisiana. But no, I mean, look, it's an incredible project. I think, at first people were underestimating how amazing it's going to be, but I'm excited for everyone to see it.
How did it feel to have the small family reunion with, I've seen Jesse appear in the episode. I was like, wow, I don't know if I've seen them work on screen together.
I know. We haven't worked together since we were like babies. I was so excited I was trying to find something, and it was actually Anthony Hemingway, our director, who was like, got the perfect role for Jesse. I mean, he kills it. He's so good in it.
Yeah. And talk to me about the music and how this series, the music definitely is an element of the story in this.
Yeah, I mean, it all starts with the song, The Drinking Gourd. In this time period, with so many liberties taken away from our people, they had to find different ways to communicate. And it was genius the way they used songs, they used the stars, they used markings on a tree, the way the moss would hang. They used footprints in the ground to get their freedom. They didn't have cell phones, obviously, or a GPS system. And in the case of my character, Rosalie, she's never been off of the plantation in her life. And so they use every single, thing that they can, plants. And it's mind-blowing, the ingenuity that these men and women use, the ingenuity that they had to be able to travel this far and charter, into uncharted territory. It's you want to believe you'd have that kind of courage. As a woman in 2016, I would want to believe that I'd have the kind of courage that these men and women had, but it's just really humbling.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that everybody's going to watch it and be like, hey, I would have ran, but when you think about it, it's...
That's the thing. We always say that. We always are like, well, I'd have just taken the gun or I'd have just run. And what our show explores is both sides, the people who were not able to run and the people who made the choice to run. It's not as simple as just running. Where you run to? How do you know where to make a right, where to make a left? How do you know these things? And our co-creator, Misha Green, talks about having read a letter that a young woman wrote where she was debating whether or not she would run. And again, yes, we're like, of course I would run. But the situations were way more complicated, and that's what our show explores.
And last question, the time in here in America where, race has always been an issue, but it seems like it's now being debated about people's stature and whatever else. And Harriet Tubman is being debated about being on the $20 bill or the $10 bill. Or you think that this show is going to be like kind of perfect timing with all the other things that's going on in America right now to be a discussion?
I definitely think our show will create a lot of discussion. I feel, it just shows, we come from revolutionaries. We come from kings and queens. We come from people who have always resisted when we were in bondage, when we were, oppressed. And young people, we've always been on the front lines of change. And I think that's one of the things that, our show explores.
I love seeing you on screen. I love the show. I'm looking forward to everybody else checking it out this March 9th on WGN. And thanks for always bringing great characters and being great at your job.
Thank you so much for always supporting. I don't take it lightly.